Anyone who's ever tried to record music at home knows this feeling, right? That weird, kind of frustrating disconnect where your timing just feels off. You're giving it your all, but something just isn't locking in. Well, that invisible enemy, it's got a name, and we're about to tackle it head on. It's called audio latency.
Man, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It is the perfect way to describe that maddening feeling. You're trying so hard to lock into the groove, but the sound coming back at you is just a little bit behind, throwing your whole performance off. But here's the good news. It's not you. It's a technical problem, and we can absolutely fix it.
So, if any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. You have just run headfirst into one of the biggest hurdles in home recording. But this problem has a name, and just knowing what to call it, latency, that's the very first step to beating it for good.
Okay, let's dive right in. To solve this thing, we gotta understand it first. So what is this delay really? And why does it mess with our brains so much when we're trying to create?
At its core, it's actually super simple. Latency is just a delay. I mean, think about it. You sing a note, you hit a chord, and there's this teeny tiny little gap in time before that sound travels through your computer and gets back to your ears. That gap, that's latency.
And here's why it's such a big deal. A few milliseconds might not seem like much, but see, your brain is just hardwired for instant feedback. When that feedback gets delayed, everything gets confused. You start subconsciously messing with your timing, maybe your pitch feels a little weird, and poof, that creative vibe is just gone.
So where is all this delay actually coming from? Well, it's not just one culprit, It's more like a bunch of tiny delays that all pile up. So let's follow the sound on its journey and find out where the holdups are.
Think of it like a relay race. Your voice hits the mic, right? Step 1. Then your audio interface has to turn that sound into ones and zeros. Then your computer and your recording software, your DAW, have to process all that data. After that, the interface has to turn it back into sound to finally send it to your headphones. Every single one of those steps takes a little bit of time. But here is the good news. Now, here's the kicker. The goal isn't zero latency. I mean, that's pretty much impossible. The real goal is to get it so low your brain just can't tell it's there. And that magic number? It's right around 5 milliseconds. If you can get your total round-trip delay under that, you've pretty much won.
All right, time for the battle plan. So how do we fight back? Well, you have two main weapons in your arsenal. And honestly, they solve like 90% of the problem. Let's get into them.
Weapon number 1, buffer size. The easiest way to think about this is like a waiting room for your audio data. A small buffer means data gets processed super fast, which is great for low latency, but it makes your computer work really hard. A large buffer gives your computer plenty of time to think, so things are smooth, but it adds a lot more delay. So the simple rule is this: when you're recording, you want a small buffer. When you're mixing, you use a large buffer. And changing it is easy. Just dive into your DAW's audio preferences or settings. Doesn't matter if you're on Studio One, Logic, Pro Tools, you name it, it's in there. Basically, you're looking for the lowest number your computer can handle without starting to crackle and pop. For most people, that's going to be 64 or 128.
Okay, on to our second weapon. And this one is the ultimate cheat code. It's called direct monitoring. This is a feature built right into most audio interfaces, and it's basically a shortcut. It takes the sound from your mic and sends it straight to your headphones, completely bypassing that long trip through the computer. The result? You hear yourself in real time.
And turning it on is usually super simple. On a lot of interfaces like the Focusrite Scarlett, it's literally just a button you press right on the box. For other gear from companies like PreSonus, Motu, or Universal Audio, you'll use a little piece of software that lets you blend your live sound with the audio from your computer. It gives you that perfect, delay-free headphone mix.
Okay, so mastering buffer size and direct monitoring, those are huge wins. But they aren't the whole story. What if you want to get even faster? Well, the gear you choose, your interface, your computer connection, even the plugins you use, it all plays a pretty big role too. Yeah, not all audio interfaces are created equal when it comes to speed. Something like a Focusrite Scarlett is awesome for getting started because that direct monitor switch is so simple. But then you've got brands like Motu, who are legendary for their super fast drivers, or Universal Audio, whose Apollo interfaces have computer chips inside them just to run effects with almost no latency. And hey, the cable connecting your interface to your computer matters too. Most of us use USB, and honestly, it's great. It gets the job done. But if you want to step it up,
Thunderbolt is even faster and more stable. And for the real pros, PCIe cards plug right into the computer's motherboard for the absolute fastest connection you can get.
And this one is a big one, folks. Plugins. You got to be careful. Some plugins, especially those big, heavy mastering ones, add a ton of delay because they need to look ahead at the audio to do their job. So here's a golden rule. When you're tracking, keep it simple. Turn those plugins off, especially anything on your main output, until you're ready to mix.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. We know the problem, we know the causes, and we know the solutions. So let's boil this all down into a super simple battle plan you can use every single time you hit record. Here it is, your 4-step pre-flight checklist. Before you even think about hitting that red button, do these 4 things. 1. Drop that buffer size down low. 2. Bypass or remove any heavy plugins. 3. Turn on direct monitoring. And 4. Hit record with total confidence, knowing that the tech is working for you, not against you.
And look, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This isn't just some techie chore you have to do. Fixing latency is about taking down the barrier between your idea and the music you're making. It's about protecting that spark, that groove, that feeling you get when you're in the zone.
So once you've got this stuff dialed in, once latency is a complete non-issue, the technology just fades into the background. It becomes invisible. And then the only question left is the fun one. What are you going to create?